Jeff Freeman is the president and the CEO of U.S. Travel. We have seen this to be the outsized impact of whatever tensions are going between countries. We've seen a decline in some of the other inbound travel, Jeff, but it's been really marked from Canada. Why do you think that is?
Contessa, it's good to be with you again. There's no doubt that Canada has been the largest source of the decline in travel to the United States. We're down 23% year over year on Canadian visitation. And the situation is different. It's different with Canada than it is in Europe and elsewhere. There are other markets with whom we're having trade negotiations. Japan and the UK stand out, where we've seen an increase in travel. But with the Canadians, it's become personal, I think, particularly on their end, and we're paying a price for that. And obviously, if we want to see a rebound in this travel, we've got to get this trade negotiation put behind us as fast as possible, or we've got to focus on how we goose the numbers from Europe and elsewhere around the world. And that's something we look forward to working with the administration on.
Okay, one thing we're showing the hotel stocks. One thing that we've heard from Marriott and Hilton and others is that whatever hit they took to inbound Canadian travel to the U.S., they've picked it up because those Canadian people are still traveling. They're just going to maybe a Marriott or a Hilton in the Caribbean or in Mexico or elsewhere. In the United States, 60% of our hotels are small businesses that likely don't have the hedge of having another property overseas to accept that business. What other factors are going into shoring up or helping these travel and leisure reliant businesses? Because it's been a tough summer. If you ask people in Lake Placid, coastal Maine, Door County, Wisconsin, they've really taken it on the chin.
Well, and we're looking perhaps at a tough fall and winter if these Canadian visitors aren't going to Florida, Texas, and other places in the United States that they typically go during that time of the year. I've heard the same thing you have from hotel leaders who have benefited with Canadians staying home and traveling more in Canada. In the U.S., they've filled that void with more Americans traveling. There has been a little bit of an increase in domestic travel, particularly at the affluent end of the market. They've been able to fill that void there. We've filled it with some of the increase we've seen in aspects of Europe. But there's no doubt the industry is feeling the strain of the decline in Canadian visitation. And that strain is growing. We've got to get this issue resolved. We know it's a priority for the administration, but we've got to get this issue resolved. Canadians are our number one travel partners. These are the most important visitors to the United States, spending about $2,000 per person per trip. We've got to get this situation resolved quickly.
Okay, there are other factors at play here. We've got FIFA World Cup coming up. It's a huge opportunity for U.S. travel businesses and hotels and restaurants and the like. You have the Olympics shortly after that. And yet the United States has hiked its visa times. There are long visa wait times. A government shutdown doesn't help. Right now, you've got questions about staffing at TSA. They're still showing up to work, but they don't want to work extra shifts. Is there going to be a slowdown as this thing continues? And then the airport infrastructure. I mean, Newark is a nightmare right now because of the construction that's going on there. Of these, which do you think are capable of being tackled before these big travel events happen, about soccer and Olympics?
A couple of comments there. We certainly see with airport construction, there can be downtimes. We've also seen the positive results at LaGuardia, and I know we're going to see those results at Newark as well. And credit to Secretary Duffy, the Transportation Department, particularly United Airlines. The improvements that have taken place at Newark have been great to see, but we've got a lot of work to do. If we are going to see a 20+% decline in Canadian travel, we've got to ask ourselves, where do we make that up? We're not going to make that up with long visa wait times, with new fees on travelers that want to come here, which is something Congress recently did. We've got to, I think, really go back to the drawing board and ask, how do we make the United States more competitive? Overseas travelers to the United States are spending more than $4,000 per person per visit. If we do the World Cup right, we've got an opportunity to attract an incremental 8 million visitors next summer, but we only do that with the right type of focus. The administration's taken some important steps. You see TSA, you no longer have to take your shoes off. There are efforts underway to keep liquids in your containers when you go through, perhaps a pre-check. They've taken some important steps, but we've got a lot more work to do if we're going to make the U.S. more competitive right now. This year, the U.S. will be the only major nation that sees a decline in foreign travel.